I'm going to show you how I made over $100,000 as a filmmaker in 2024, and I'm going to give you some massive insights into how you can have six-figure years as a filmmaker every year if you do this one thing. In 2024, I directed 3 vertical romance films, 2 of which were 60 minutes long and 1 of which was a feature. I also directed TV commercials for 6 brands: HomeServe, Nutrisystem, and QAnon. Those are major brands. Those commercials run nationally, and then I made commercials for 3 smaller brands. I edited TV commercials for 5 brands, including Cabinets to Go and Guru Nanda. I co-edited a series of viral social videos starring Anthony Starr from Amazon's The Boys. I got paid to write a screenplay for a romance film. I edited 2 of the 3 romance films that I directed, and I made a few videos for some of my own clients here in my studio in upstate New York and on location at their business places. Just some backstory. When I first started making videos, I was working in what I would call high volume, high output, low pay. So I was making how-to videos. I was going out on location, spending 90 minutes to 2 hours on a shoot to gather data for 10 videos. And then I was going back home and I was editing these 10 videos and I was getting paid $350 to do that. So that was kind of a daily thing that I was doing, which is why I say it's high volume. It's high output because each time I was going out, I was making 10 videos or editing and delivering 10 videos. But the pay was low, so making 10 videos for $350 is not a very good return. After doing this for a while, I turned a lot of those clients that I was doing videos for these agencies, into my own clients. And I moved into what I considered a medium amount of work, or medium volume, so going out probably 2 to 3 days a week and making medium pay. So I was starting to increase my rates, which is what you should be doing as well. Then I moved into the phase that I think you want to be in if you're in the world of film and television, or if you're someone who goes out as a videographer making content for brands. And so how I did that was I made a lot of spec commercials. And those spec commercials got me on the radar of different agencies. I got a direct hire through HelloFresh, who at the time was just, back in 2017, just moving into the market of New York, so offering HelloFresh delivery to households in New York. So I did a big campaign for them, and that's what got me on the radar of different agencies here in New York, in LA, and in Montreal. And from there, my work shifted from that of a videographer to that of a cinematographer and director, where I started to work on bigger commercials. So I moved into the low volume, only going out once a week or maybe even once every 2 weeks to do a shoot, but high pay. So making a lot more than I was doing all those smaller videos. I'm assuming you're watching this, you're a videographer. So you own some camera equipment. You probably own a camera, some lenses, a tripod, a gimbal, maybe a drone, maybe a small lighting package. You go out, you do shoots, with very minimal lighting, you get footage, you go back, you edit it, you turn it around in a couple of days for your client, and you just keep kind of finding clients and doing that, repeating that over and over again. And that's probably fine. The problem is that everyone is a videographer now because equipment is cheap, and at some point you're either going to be priced out of the market that you're in, or you're just going to get exhausted of doing it. Trust me, because I was there. I've been through all of this before. What you need to do is specialize. You want to pick the one job on a film set that speaks to you, that you think you can do, that you think you can excel at. That could be directing. For me, it's directing. I know that I said that I edit and that I write, and I make money doing those things, and I need to do those things to supplement my income because I need to pay for the studio that I'm in. I need to pay my mortgage, the car payments, and of course the price of everything is going up, right? So I supplement my income as a director by doing these other things. But when I market myself, I only market myself as a director. I spent a total of 31 days on set as a director in 2024. That doesn't sound like a lot of time directing, and it's not. But if you think about the rate that a director can command, which is usually somewhere between $2,000 to $7,000 a day, if I'm on set for 31 days making $7,000 a day, sorry, I'm terrible at math, that's over $200,000 just directing. Now, of course, that's kind of a lie, right? Because the truth is, when you're a director, you're spending a ton of time doing pre-production, tons of pre-production days, right? So you're like, oh, this guy only worked 31 days a year. I worked every day. I worked, doing pre-production for those films was a month for each of those films of pre-production, at least a month. Those are unpaid days. All of those days that you're working, you're not getting paid, which is why when you do get paid, the days that you're on set, you command a higher rate. And it's usually a higher rate than everybody else. Why does a director make so much more than assistant camera? Assistant camera doesn't spend time making shot lists and storyboards and previs and having phone calls and meetings with agencies and producers and clients. They show up on set, they build a camera, they pull focus. The director spends tons of time doing all those other things. And that's why there's a differentiation in what they make. Now, you want to specialize. You want to pick the one thing that you're really good at, or you think you could be really good at. You need to practice that thing. And you might even want to be more niche on that thing. Instead of just saying, I'm a director, you're going to say, I'm a director of vertical romance films. That's more niche. That's easier for then someone to say, I'm looking for a director of vertical romance films. Here's a couple of people who are just directors, and here's someone who has experience directing 3 of these romance films. I want that person. You can be a cinematographer, or you can be a cinematographer who shoots products with a Cinebolt. That's like the robot arm that moves around and does cool moves. That puts you in a different bracket versus someone who is just a cinematographer. You can be even more niche. Then you can say, I'm a cinematographer who does cinematography for products with a robot arm in super slow motion, 1,000 frames per second, 6,000 frames per second. That's even more niche. You can probably command even more money for something like that. So you've got to figure that out for yourself. If you need some help to point you in the right direction, step 1 is you should probably watch a lot of behind the scenes footage. There's lots on YouTube. Attend workshops, take courses, get yourself in a bigger set where there's a bunch of professionals that you can watch. So be a PA, and while you're doing your PA job, watch the gaffer, watch the grip, watch the AC, watch the director, watch the cinematographer, watch what they do, watch how they work. If there's time at a lunch break, ask them about their job. Ask them what their responsibilities are. Ask them if they like it. Ask them for some advice. In general, most people who work on films are not assholes, and they'll give you some advice. And then that can start to point you in the right direction so you can figure out what you do want to specialize in. The second step in specializing is actually trying to go out and do that role. The only way you're going to get better at directing, at cinematography, at being a video editor is if you're doing that work repeatedly over and over and over again. But also, if you're finding other people who do that same thing, who can look at your work critically and constructively help you get better. I thought I was a great video editor until I started editing commercials. And as I edited commercials, I would look at the work of some of the more senior editors that were doing commercials with the agency that I was working with. And then I realized that they were way better than I was. And there was a lot more things that they knew about editing that I didn't know. And so luckily, they were willing to show me some of the things, some of the tips, some of the secret sauce, some of the ins and outs and the essentials that I didn't know about commercial editing that helped me be better organized, that helped me have a better workflow, that helped me become an overall better editor to where I could command more money. You've got to figure out for yourself what that specialized role is. If it happens to be directing, then you're in a great place because I direct TV commercials, I direct films, I direct music videos, and I talk about them here on this channel. I talk about my experiences, I talk about what I'm learning, and I try to pass that knowledge on so that other people who are a little bit, a step behind, a step two steps behind me, can gather some information from that and get a little bit better at what they do. And at the same time, I'm trying to get better every day at what I do so that I can get representation and start working on even bigger commercials for myself. Thank you very much for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave some comments, ask me some questions. I'm happy to answer it. I'm happy to hear what other topics on directing you'd like to see. And remember, success leaves clues. If you want to be a director, you can book a one-on-one session with me where I can help you learn about the path that you can take to become more successful and to start working in the world of commercials. It's a great place to work because you're on set for a day, 2 days, and you get paid a lot of money, or in narrative films as well. Thank you for watching. See me next time.